All right, we are live. What's up, everybody? Steven here, the Horror Freak 85, here with our guest tonight, Celeste Parker. How are you tonight?
Hi, I'm doing wonderful. Thank you for having me on here.
No problem. Glad I got introduced to you, so it should be a fun time tonight, I think.
I
Uh,
certainly hope so.
so for people who don't know about you, if you want to tell us a little about yourself, where you're from, and what got you into horror.
All right, that could be a long story or short story. How long do you want me to go on?
It doesn't matter, whatever you want to tell.
Okay, so my actual name is Shanta Pasica. Celeste Parker is my alter ego that I horror host under, which is my main acting thing that I do in the horror world. But I did not grow up getting into horror at all. I was scared of it. I was very awkward, shy child. I was very sheltered. My parents were hippies, and so there was none of that stuff in my house. And however, I told them when I was around like 15 or so that I wanted to go into psychology, and they made me watch Psycho and Silence of the Lambs, and that's how I got into horror.
Ah, yes, Silence of the Lambs. Not a bad one to start with, I don't think, but that could traumatize some people, maybe.
Yeah, I think they were trying to like warn me or steer me away, but it had the effect of making me more interested in psychology and horror.
So, did you ever study psychology after that in school or anything? To, like maybe get into the minds of killers?
You know, I did actually. I'm currently in my day job a mental health counselor, so I went into the field.
Oh, okay, that works then. That answers that question. So, you said right now that's your career. What's the best part of it that you like? What's the fascination of getting into the mind of mental health?
Well, I get to snoop on people's lives and they like it. And kind of nosy. But I really like just getting to know people, seeing how people think, and talking to people. An introvert, but also a people person at the same time. So I just love talking to people, helping people, showing people empathy and understanding where they maybe haven't gotten any before.
Mm,
Very
nice.
passionate about mental health. So
Nice. That's an interesting field to get into. I had no idea until you told me that. I wouldn't have really have thought that. So that's really interesting there. Um, so back to the horror aspect, I guess sometimes you put the mental health into the characters. Do you think that helps you understand characters that you either work with or create?
I wish I could say yes, but I think one of the main reasons people get into psychology is to try to understand themselves, and it's an ongoing process. So I'm not sure I could really channel anybody else either.
Okay, so it doesn't like. So when you become Celeste and everything, what was your creation for that? What made you decide to get into Hexen Arcane? What was the idea behind that?
About 10 and a half, almost 11 years ago, I had just gone through a bad breakup. I was at the lowest point of my life. And 3 days after this horrible, awful breakup, somebody I had met randomly at a cafe hit me up and said, "Hey, want to audition to be on my horror host show?" His name was Dedgar Winter. He had Dedgar's Dark Coffin Classics. I went in there not thinking much of anything. And I started on the show and I had the best time of my life. I made some of the most amazing friends of my life. I had a whole new group of friends, lots of support. It was a lot of drama. There's so much going on in the scene, but it was just the best experience for me. And it really brought me out of my shell. I was incredibly shy. I had really bad self esteem at the time, and it helped so much with both those things. And eventually, I left Dedgar's show, and his other co-host and I ended up starting our own show, Hexen Arcane, about 4.5 years ago.
Okay. So you said being shy and all. Did you ever take any acting classes prior, or that was just something that you fell into and just got into it?
I know no acting classes at all. I think just when we happened to meet at the cafe, I was wearing like a horror style pinup dress and I had a mohawk that was like green and blue. And so I just had a look. And I think that's why he invited me. And everything I know about acting, which my acting skills are not amazing, but anything I learned from acting was just through experience and the project I've done since then.
Kind of one of
Actually,
those like one of those just spotted in public, just like Harry Potter was found by J.K. Rowling just at a reading, and
Yeah,
David.
not to that level, but I think he was looking for someone new, and we'd
But,
met. We
but
kind of
either way,
hung
I'm just saying, like being spotted like that out in public, it's just like, oh, that's awesome. And David Boreanaz walking his dog. I mean, it's like being at the right place at the right time just to get you into it.
Exactly. And I take that back. I was in a play in high school. I played bystander 2 in My Fair Lady. So yeah, I had lots of acting experience.
Uh, My Fair Lady, that's the way to start right there. So, did you have to do any accents in it, or you were just like,
I don't even think I talked at all. Actually, no, I played the queen too for a minute. So I think I said something like lovely. That was it.
lovely?
Maybe a little dancing or something. I don't exactly remember, but yeah, I wasn't any good in that.
Yeah, I like to act, but I can't sing, so it's just like I have my fallbacks too there. But
I only sing around people I hate.
yeah, just to get them away, right? Yeah, that's what I should start doing. People who annoy me, just start singing. Like William Hung from American Idol. She bangs, he bangs.
Exactly. That is about I think he's a step above me in singing abilities.
Oh wow. Well, I mean, I don't understand how that soundtrack became popular. Like, I mean, I just got to do something silly like that. Apparently, I don't know. Just
I think
something
you
to.
have to be like unself-consciously and unknowingly awful at something to get that kind of notoriety.
Mm. Well, I love it how they're like, "Yes, I'm the best singer," and then they're like, "Like really? Are you not
Like,
listening?"
somebody told you that once?
Mm. It's like, yeah, they must be proud. um, what was I gonna say? I got off talking there. Obviously, in the horror and Halloween, and I believe the Hexen Arcane was like meaning witch or something I heard about before. What was the meaning again?
Yeah, so we kind of came up with it because we wanted something that you weren't gonna like if you Googled it, that was all that was gonna come up pretty much.
Mhm.
I mean, yes, you'll find things for Hexen here and there like a movie, but it was something we also wanted something that wasn't completely going to limit us only to horror hosting if we ever wanted to branch out, do other things, entertainment. So Hexen Arcane just basically means mysterious witches. Hexen is German, I'm German, so it kind of worked.
Okay. Yeah, my last name is German, Flug, so yeah, I got a little bit of German too there.
Yeah.
So I've heard it means two things though, like either flight or plow. I don't know. What would you know the meaning of Flug, or have you heard? Or
I've only heard it in the terms of like plane, like an airplane, like Flugzeug
plane?
is an airplane.
Okay.
Um like the flying context, but plow makes more sense in terms of a last name.
Oh, okay. Because I've heard both, so I wasn't sure which there. It's like I should go back and research that. Do like a family tree might be interesting. So besides German, what other background are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I am the most boring ancestry ever. When I took it, I was not surprised at all. I am half German and half Jewish.
Okay, that's kind of interesting combo if you look at history.
It really is.
Um, what are some of the best memories or behind the scenes? Any bloopers you can share on any of the episodes?
Oh man, there's so many. We had so many laughs on Dedgar's Dark Coffin Classics to start with. There were just episodes where we were like falling down laughing, like crying behind the scenes from all this stuff because we would always mess with each other and just have fun and mess with the camera crew. Hexen Arcane is a little smaller because we both have I have 4 kids. She has 4 kids, plus, 3 extra that she takes care of a lot. So there's lots and lots of kids that we deal with, and we work around that schedule. And so because of that, we don't have a regular time we film, and then we don't have camera crew. We travel a lot. We film things separately. We film things together. So it's mostly just the two of us, especially because we started right in the middle of the pandemic, like right as the world shut down is when Hexen Arcane started. And so we really could only do things with the two of us.
No.
And it kind of kept going. And so we've had so many bloopers, so many fun times, so many things like we can never show on TV. Some really embarrassing things that have happened that we now laugh about. At least I try to laugh about.
Should do like a behind the scenes or like a DVD or best bloopers for instance. Like,
yeah, I often put them in the back of the show. I will say in the beginning, So I don't drink alcohol at all anymore. But in the beginning, we had an episode where she came over to my house and we were baking something. We had so much fun and we got really drunk while we were doing it. And then we decided to go live on Facebook, which was a great idea until I took a little break because, my baby was an infant at a time. So I fed her and then didn't realize I still had a wardrobe malfunction. And my husband came running down the stairs like, do you know you just like, I'm like, yeah, I know. Like I shut it off real fast, but
that's funny. A few people just came in. Wayne was saying Celeste rocks out.
Hi, Wayne.
Steven's here, of course.
Hi, Steven.
And then let's see, best banana picks. I guess that's from one of the shows or something there. I'm not sure the story behind
We have a joke behind bananas. One time I was at a convention, I sent Morgan a picture of me eating a banana. She sent one back. And then after that, we just kept posting pictures, tagging each other in eating banana pictures, and it just kind of became a thing.
Let's see, who else came in here? Mormozine. I hope I said that right.
Hi.
And then Anthony saying, huge fan of your work. And then, and he's up to his 2,000 in memoirs. Yeah, been working on that. Good job. So yeah, I totally forgot what I was going to say. I'm sorry. I think we're going to have one of those laughing moments. I know I was going to bring up now the clips that I was watching, The Last Man on Earth and the shadow puppet ones, how it started out laughing. That's how I am right now. I'm just laughing. There we go. You never know what happens on a live show.
Yes, that's true.
But what got you into Vincent Price films?
Just watching some of the older stuff. It wasn't something I had watched too much of before I started horror hosting. And then just watching all of them as I was hosting, I got so into Vincent Price. I also had a really good friend at the time, and she just was obsessed with Vincent Price. So we watched Vincent Price stuff, and I just kind of, because of my love for her, got a love for Vincent Price too.
In that episode, you were saying how some of them you had filmed by yourself and some with Morgan also. The hotel one, what was the idea to try to be alone by yourself? Well, besides the movie being inspiration, but what gave you that idea to go out at a hotel?
The reason was because I travel a lot, and anywhere I go, I film. And so I happened to be spending the week at a hotel. My husband was there for work. We were there with him. So I was like, I'm just going to film something. I couldn't really go much of anywhere because it was out in the middle of nowhere. So I was like, I just got to film in the hotel room, I guess.
Just random ideas, what to do in 25 minutes feels like 17 hours or whatever time.
Yeah.
It's like, what to do? I have no idea. Pretty much like, I think being alone by yourself, if you're in a contained area, probably would go a little crazy there. So
yeah, I mean, I was having a great time other than that, but I was filming that I was having the most boring time ever.
Yeah. When you were running through the hallway, did anyone catch you before filming, or did you have to do any editing there? Like people looking at you like, what's going on?
I have gotten a few looks in my time. Yeah.
So, I mean, like they caught you like while you were filming that you had to edit out.
Yeah, a couple of times because I filmed things a couple of times and I took the best shots just because I had the time to edit. I was stuck there in a hotel room. So,
and then the shadow warning, or what was it? Shadow warning?
Yeah, warning shadow, I think.
Episode. Yeah, I also found on YouTube too, there's a lot of bad jokes you like to come up with. Is there any newer ones that we haven't heard yet that you might have for us?
I don't know if I can say one on the spot. I do know like some of my favorite bad jokes are the
or favorites. If you'd like to share favorites is fine.
My favorite horrible joke, it was from like the worst movie, worst episode, and I asked Morgan, what's brown and sounds like a bell? You don't know?
No.
Dung.
Oh, dung instead of ding. Yeah, I should have thought of that.
It's awful. So like, yeah, it's notorious for the really bad jokes that I tell her, and even more so her reactions to my terrible jokes.
Yeah, that's run. Yeah, I did see the one where I think what was it, a piranha or something? I forget what the joke was where she pushed you off the dock though.
Yeah, I never got to finish that one.
Did we ever find that one out, or you didn't say that joke yet? It never got aired.
I don't think that was an actual joke. I think we had a plan for her to push me off, so I just came up with something random, and I don't think
Okay.
there was an actual punchline there.
Uh, who knows? Maybe you'll think of one, and we'll get the exclusive on it. So, whether you come back or not. um, what was this? What was that? The chinchilla or whatever that you had in that? So, was that yours or hers?
That was hers.
Okay,
Yeah,
that
that's
was
her chinchilla Rand. We are trying to get him to wear a hat and hold up signs. It's not going too well, but we're still working on it.
because I was wondering that might be a little difficult. People say sometimes it's hard working with animals, so I'm sure he was running around, going all crazy on you guys. I could
Oh
just
yeah,
imagine.
we love animals, so we both have a collection of pets, and most of them have made an appearance at one time or other on the show. Like we have an ongoing storyline about the bird cult we joined.
Yeah,
Um,
what was that? I've only unfortunately saw those couple ones, but the bird cult. What's the story behind that?
we just had an idea that we were going to join a bird cult, and then I have pet birds, so they've kind of made appearances. And because, like, supposedly at the end of the episode, we left the bird cult, but I'm secretly still in it.
What kind of bird you have?
I have two cockatiels.
Oh, okay. I remember there was years ago. I forget what type of parrot it was. But I was at the pet store, and it was like sort of like saying a few things, and I just laughed. And at the time, I accidentally went like while I was laughing, I like choked, and all of a sudden it started going right back at me.
Yeah,
I wanted that bird so bad. It was
I spent
hilarious.
so long trying to teach my birds like the Star Trek whistle, the Munsters theme, all kinds of stuff, even like classical music. And no, they would not do it. The thing they learned, the only thing they learned is the microwave and the oven beep. So they will fool me into thinking my food is done, but they won't like do anything, I actually want them to do.
Well, if you get any pet tricks, let us know. Let's see. Steven said Celeste is one of the people I call online family, promoter, Victoria, and others from Dedgar's crew.
Yeah, that's where we first met Steven, is when I was on Dedgar's Dark Coffin Classics. Victoria was the co-host I started out with, and her and I just had this amazing chemistry. I loved working with her. She's a great person.
It, is that like a convention or something? Or what was it that you went to? Coffin?
Oh, that was the horror host show I started on.
Oh, okay.
And then we started our own show, which Kenosha area has like the highest concentration of horror hosts per capita, I think. There's like four of us.
Okay.
And there was actually recently a documentary made about it called I'm Your Host. And hopefully it should be out on streaming soon and stuff. It was a good one.
Oh, it's called I'm Your Host.
Yes, I'm
Okay.
Your Host. And we're in it. Dedgar is in it. And he has unfortunately since passed away. But his fiance, Storm, has carried on with horror hosting. So she does Storm's Eclectic Realm. And of course, the OG in our area is Dr. Destruction. He's been on for like 20 years.
Nice. Who are some of your favorite horror movie hosts?
I've always loved Svengoolie. I love Elvira, the popular ones. I like Joe Bob Briggs. I love the people I work with. I love Dedgar. I think Storm is great. I love watching Dr. Destruction. Like all these people like are very creative people and they put so much into it. So I just have fun watching what everyone does with it because everybody has a different idea. Everyone has a different style.
Mm-hmm. Um, so besides the different style, you were saying like the attraction for people, like people, just watch horror movies before that got started up. What, as an audience watching these people, make the movie more entertaining? Do you think?
I usually personally, I am not too much of like a movie person where I want to know all the info about a movie and all the actors they were. That just my brain doesn't go so much like the fact-based stuff necessarily. Like we'll give trivia because I think it's fun, But I think because we enjoy it, we focus more on skits and just having fun and being like campy and silly and goofy.
And besides the host of the show and everything, you've done some other projects you've gotten into, like Shakespeare Shitstorm with Trauma. How was it working with Lloyd Kaufman on that?
Oh,
Were
he's
you a fan of Trauma?
absolutely. I first met him in, I think, 2007 or 2008. And I've loved him, for a long time. And just getting to know him, I started working as a Tromat on the Trauma booth. And that's where I really got to spend more time with him and get to know him and the rest of some of the Trauma people. And they were just fun, welcoming, wonderful people, like just really open-minded, great people to work with. And so getting to work on Shitstorm, honestly, like Lloyd won my heart forever on there by the way he treated my son. So I brought my at the time 5-year-old son with me. It was completely inappropriate place to bring a small child, by the way, on the set of a Trauma movie. But he got to be in it a little bit, which was awesome. He got a line, which I did not, and he had fun backstage watching topless women run around and all the effects and the gore and stuff.
Yeah, there was a lot of shite flying around. That's for sure.
Yeah, that club scene, he was when they were vomiting the green stuff. They were
Yeah.
like, "Hey, you want to see this?" And they took him backstage while they were filming it to watch and stuff.
So,
So
for the vomit and shit and all that, what kind of material did they use for that? Do you know?
I
Like, what
don't actually
mixture?
know. I was getting ready while they were doing that. And then I actually had to leave that night. But when I had to leave, I was supposed to actually die. I was supposed to die by ninja star to the breast.
Mhm.
But I had to go. I had a plane to catch. I had another project. I had promised a friend I would be on the next day. And it was really important to me to keep my word, even if it meant not getting to die in a Trauma movie. So I had to leave, and Lloyd
Uh, yeah,
stopped
because there was someone who,
and he paused
yeah,
and he said, "I need to take a quick second." And he stopped and he went out and said bye to my son and gave him some encouraging words. And that meant so much to me that he would stop what was, a busy, difficult schedule of filming and shooting and everything to talk to a kid.
yeah, he's really nice. I think it was MegaCon. I had met him at one of the Trauma booths. What's one of your favorite Trauma movies?
I have to say Terra Firmer.
Yeah, Terra Firmer and Nukem High are my
Yeah,
favorites.
and I
And
love,
Toxic Adventure.
yeah, I love part 3 on Toxic Avenger and 2. And I also really love Cannibal the Musical.
Oh yes, so that's been so long since I've seen that one.
I sing the songs all the time. I shouldn't sing, but I sing the songs.
It's a good musical. It's like, who doesn't want to sing a song about eating people, right?
Exactly. That's all we're asking for.
Let's see. Steven said you are an official woman of darkness, of course.
Yeah, he's been so wonderful and always promoting everything, being supportive. I can't say enough good things about him.
Everyone, myself, and yeah, he's great in the horror community. That's what's great about all of us supporting each other and whatever we may be doing. So, are you interested? Like, besides, have you ever like read any books on witchcraft or gotten into it at all?
I have a bit, yes. I
Mhm.
wouldn't call myself a witch or a Wiccan. I call myself spiritual. Have I ever done a spell before? Yes.
So,
I I
how did it
definitely,
turn out for you?
yeah, I try to do nice things because I do believe that things you do come back to you. So the most I've done is like spells to reflect other people's energy back at them, so it didn't land on me. So
Yeah,
something happened to them from that, that's on them.
right. Kind of like the movie The Craft. Whatever you do, it will come back towards you if it's
Yes, 3 times.
three times comes back to you. What's her name? She played Nancy in that, and she was in The Water Boy. I can't think of her name right now. You know
Um,
who I'm talking about,
yeah,
though.
I do, and I'm escaping me as well. And
Stephen let us know he's our information guy. Like he'll tell us anytime we have a question about somebody, what their name is, or any movie title. He always takes care of that. It's funny.
that's awesome because I am awful at that kind of thing.
But actually though, she's like got a her own shop. Like she practiced Wiccan. She really is like super into it and everything. I found that out. Let's see, someone asked me. I'm not sure who that was. Was this Trish? You're talking to her? Oh, okay. Yep, of course. Why not? um, let's see. You also worked on. You were a sanguinarian. How do you say that again? Sanguinarian.
Sanguinarian, yes.
Sanguinarian, which is a term I guess that they use for the movie Faces of Fear. The vampires that were doing their little documentary scenes in between, I guess, or footage.
Yeah, it was a series of short films, and the one I was in, my friend Dane Kyle did. He's an excellent, like just one of the most creative people I've ever met. Just wonderful eye for things. And he had me on there. I was pregnant with my daughter at the time, so it was even better. I was talking about drinking blood and stuff.
So is that an actual term for a vampire that they came up with? Because that's the first time I've ever heard that, or was that just some word for the movie to
I don't know. I think it was an actual term. I don't think we were actually technically vampires in the sense that we needed blood to live. I think we just more liked it. Like it's about people who just like to drink blood.
like to drink blood? Yeah, I've seen like some documentaries. I remember, I think it was on Fox a long time ago, like when Sightings was on that show, and Beyond Belief, like that type of error that was on. I remember they actually had a show with some people who they either believed they were vampires or they actually had an allergy to the sun, and then they would actually drink blood. And they're like, "Yeah, we just find people. I don't kill anybody. I don't need it to live. It's just it." And one person said how it gave them energy, and it was an interesting documentary, I think.
Okay.
So and have you heard about how there's also this thing on TikTok how this woman encountered like a psychic vampire? She like felt drained after meeting that person. I don't know how much you're like research them or anything like that, but
I haven't heard of that one, but I have experienced people who just drain my energy. So it's a thing.
do you watch What We Do in the Shadows? Have you
It's
seen?
on my list, but I haven't watched it yet. I have decided to set up my life to be way too busy to actually do most of the things I enjoy on a regular basis.
Well, if you ever get a chance, the one vampire in there, he's an energy vampire, Colin, and he like talks to people in the office, and he'll like sharpen pencils, and they're just like getting really bored. He's like, "Oh yeah, the taxes season," and like he just goes on and
I think
on.
I watched a couple episodes of that, but I wanted to watch the whole thing.
Yeah, I gotta watch them in order there. um, so, in your free time, what do you enjoy watching if you get a chance?
Any horror movies, any horror shows I love. I like to play video games a lot. So if I have free time, I do that often. But I like to turn things on and craft and stuff like that. So I tend to watch a lot of horror movies or shows and a lot of true crime. Lots and lots of true crime.
The other day, we were kind of got some video game memories back in the day. We were talking about Nintendo. You like the older systems or PS5, or what system do you prefer?
I prefer newer ones. Again, with my hippie parents I grew up with, I didn't grow up playing video games. I did have a computer, so I did play some computer games, but I didn't have any of the older consoles, so I don't have that nostalgia. So I play the Xbox Series S
Mm-hmm.
because I don't have that many discs. I have the Switch, I have a Steam Deck, and I have the Quest 3.
Oh, yeah. I haven't played the Quest 3, but the other, I think it was two or that I had, but one of the ones I enjoyed, what was it? Was like you're a witch doing spells. I don't know if it's on that one, but your hand, you can like dip it in and you pull it out. It looks like a curved witch hand, and you do like these spells, and I forget what it's called, but
I want it. No, I don't have that. I play stuff like Population One, but Arizona Sunshine, Green Hell, things like that I love.
I'll have to look it up, but it moves your hand movements for spells, and it was interesting though. Like it said, like dip it in the like the cauldron, and it pulls out like a green twisted hand.
You need to try this.
Yes, so I'll have to I'll find it and track it down and get it to you later if I can think of what it's called.
Dang.
Because it might have
Yeah.
been just like one of the free one samples in it or something on the screen. I don't know, but yeah, I'll check on that for you.
You just disappeared.
Huh? Oh, what? Can you see me?
Yes. No, you just vanished for a second.
Oh yeah, that my background, like half of my head will probably disappear every now and then. It happens. Steven said his first trauma experience was Toxic Crusaders.
Yeah, I actually they're finished filming the new trauma movie, Power of Positive Murder.
Mm-hmm.
I have a small part in that too.
Okay, I think is this the last one he's directing? I thought I heard something about that.
I mean, so he says, but
Hopefully not.
Never know. Yeah, hopefully not. So, people were saying that Shitstorm was going to be his last one, and then he did this one. So you never know.
Nah, okay. Because I mean, I'd like to work with him. That would be my goal, but I don't know. We'll see. But
yeah, when it finally comes out, look for me as I was a naked terrorist. I'm not totally naked, but that was my title.
Naked terrorist.
Yes.
guns ablazing, huh? Okay, that should be interesting. Very, very positive.
Yes. The naked terrorist scene was my very favorite part in Crime and Punishment, so I was really excited to have that as my scene.
Can you tell us what that movie is about a little bit, or the plot of it?
Yeah, it's based on the Dostoevsky Crime and Punishment.
Oh, that's what you're saying, Crime and Punishment. Okay.
I was joking. That part is not at all in the book.
Well, I don't think so. Oh, and Steven was right. He found that name for me for Bulk. Yep, that's her.
Yeah, that's who we're thinking of.
See what I tell you? He's like our research person here. So thank you, Steven, as always. So what other future projects? Is there anything that you've been working on that you can share, or wait till it's on IMDb?
Most of the stuff I've done is on IMDb. I will say, I'm going to give a shout out to a friend of mine who has me in his movies. His name is Michael Butt. He has More On Productions. And these are independent films. He's got like no budget, but he's extremely creative and just puts in ideas I've never seen anywhere else. And I've had so much fun shooting his movies. So I want to say, if you like no budget independent movies, go watch some of his.
Nice. So obviously movies that you've been in, tons of practical effects. I'm sure, do you prefer practical effects over CGI?
100%. Yeah, I love practical effects.
If you were to die in a movie, how would you like to be killed?
I will die anyway in a movie. My dream since I got into horror was to die in a horror movie, which I've done. But, I wouldn't mind getting my throat cut or hanged.
Or hanged and cut throat at the same time.
Yeah,
there you go.
Something like that.
And then the head comes off. There we go. Like slice your throat as you hang out, and then like rip your throat open. How's that?
The bloodier the better, honestly.
Oh, just the bloodbath. And I would love to what would be fun. It's in the trailer in Camp Blood. I get stabbed in the head and my brain's all messed up and stuff. So that was fun. But I'd like to be maybe ripped open or blood, dripping down, maybe chest exposed, something like really gruesome.
Yeah, like mangled by a werewolf or something.
Yes, maybe like a claw down the face. Yeah. Like in American Werewolf in London when his friend is killed and then he sees the ghost with his face mangled off.
Yes, exactly.
So have you been to any conventions or plan on any upcoming conventions?
I was just at a paranormal conference yesterday. I used to do so many conventions when I was with Dedgar. Unfortunately, like I said, because we started during the pandemic, there really wasn't anything. We'd go to smaller things. We did Wendigo Fest every year. That was my favorite thing. Unfortunately, they no longer do Wendigo Fest.
Hmm.
But I was there every single year for that one. Never missed. I loved it so much. It was in Manitowoc, Wisconsin. I just had the best time there every time.
Is there any other before you were a guest at a convention? Was there any that you've been to that you recommend?
I would always go to Days of the Dead when it first started, and that was my favorite back in the day. I am
Back
not
in the,
saying anything bad about Days of the Dead now. It's just back when it first started, it was really, really small. And
hmm
so everybody was out there, and there was, I'm not blaming the celebrities because now they have these huge lines and they have to move people through and it's more expensive, but it was pretty affordable and people would just sit and talk and you could just hang out for like 10, 15 minutes and talk to people. And I love the feel of those. I don't like I get overwhelmed with like the C2E2s and stuff. I'll go to them and it's fine, but I'd
hmm
prefer the small conventions.
Yeah, the smaller ones. It's always nice when you get that time at the table to talk to them, and of course, everyone's got to get up there. But the smaller ones are, I think, more intimate, and the crowded ones, it's like too long, But
Yeah. Yeah, it's just, just pushing people through and it's fine. I got to meet William Shatner at a huge convention and that was like one of the best moments of my life. But, I had time to say two words and that's fine, I don't think they want to talk to me anyway. But, they just want their money and that's fine. It's just I love the ones where you can, hang out with people more.
who is there anyone that you would like to work with that you haven't worked with yet?
Oh, so many people. I would love to work with Bill Moseley if I could.
Oh yeah. Have you had a chance to meet him yet at any conventions?
Oh yeah, I couldn't talk. I was just like, hey,
Hey, Bill. He's such an awesome guy, though. He's real talkative.
yeah, he's
So I guess.
wonderful and very
Oh yeah.
creative, very interesting brain. So,
Mm. If you ever get a chance, I don't know if it's still on Shutter or not. Holliston that Adam Green did, who did the Hatchet movies. If you're familiar with those,
oh yeah, I love
Victor.
Hatchet.
Okay, well, yeah, Adam Green, he did Holliston, and Joe Lynch and Dee Snider plays their boss, and they do late night television on it where they host scary movies, and he wants to make this movie called Shin Pads, and Kane Hodder as a guest star on it, Danielle Harris, Bill
Oh,
Moseley
cool.
plays Crazy Max who does these commercials. If you ever get a chance to see that, I had him sign the Holliston one as Crazy Max. It's
Yeah,
pretty
that's
cool.
Um,
Um, let's
yeah, we
see.
did. We were with Kane Hodder at Wendigo Fest actually a couple years ago. That was awesome.
And Kane too. He's really cool, and like you wouldn't really think of it from being Jason, but if you ever get a chance to meet him or see him on Holliston, he's actually pretty funny. Like
Yeah,
I
he
could actually,
is.
I could actually, I doubt it would ever happen unless we petitioned it, but I could even see him on Saturday Night Live. To be
Totally.
honest,
Yeah, he was a riot that weekend. He was so funny.
but he just says the most random stuff. What was it? The last Spooky Empire. There was some woman that had like these little glitter, like different color dicks, little things that she was throwing around, and they were on the bar. And Kane had his elbow in them. So I walk up to him. I'm like, "Sorry, Kane, didn't mean to interrupt you, but you're elbow deep in some dicks." And he just looks at me and goes, "You're welcome." I'm like, oh my.
I want a glitter dick.
Like they were just everywhere though. It was so weird. They were just like down the
That's
hallway
like
on the
the dream. Glitter dicks everywhere.
well in a little spoiler alert, but like in Shakespeare Shakespeare shitstorm. There we go. I started to
Mhm.
say it wrong there. That rooster and then the armadillo or whatever. All those creatures
Yeah.
that were in there.
And
Did
they
you
put
get?
me right next to like this tentacle dildo, so I kept playing with it the whole time.
They had all these weird like creatures and stuff. I swear, Troma has the most interesting creature. Like I don't know what they think of like Poultrygeist. Even like it's just
Oh yeah.
crazy all the stuff that they do. Let's see. Yeah, Julianne Prescott was in there in the beginning. I saw her. Yeah, she was one of the partiers there. I
Fun
totally forgot
fact.
about that. And I saw her like because you can recognize her tattoos and say like
Oh
she's
yeah.
really recognized, or else her hair color or whatever. I mean, she changes it often, or I'm not sure how it is now, but um,
When people ask me like, "Oh, what's a fun fact about you?" If I'm in the right context, I'll be like, "Oh, I did a movie with Ron Jeremy." When I'm talking about Shakespeare's Shitstorm, I've never actually met him, but people think something totally different.
just be like, oh yeah, me and Ron Jeremy, we're like that.
I mean, I don't want anything to do with the guy, you know what I mean? But
No, probably not. I don't think so. Nah, I've heard things. No pun intended.
yeah, I mean, you know, let's say he's had enough troubles going on around him, but I've never met him. But it's funny that we're in the movie together.
Yeah. Well, they had I I was an extra in Never Back Down, the Fight Club movie in Orlando, and Amber Heard was in that. And this was before she was in Aquaman and got bigger in the whole Johnny Depp thing and everything. And like everybody was nice, and I was talking to the director and some of the fighters, and Sean, like everybody was cool. And like Amber was walking by me, and I just said hi, how are you? And she just like looked at me like, I'm just like, okay, whatever. Like she didn't even care. Like she was like, she thought she was already like the big star before, and this was like I said before, Aquaman and all that. It's like, really? Okay, be that way.
I hope I never get to a point where I treat anybody like that.
So, I mean, I don't understand. It's like we're all working together. We're all people. We can treat each other with respect. Like,
Yeah,
uh,
I definitely agree.
so. Besides that, I've had pretty good experiences with people and conventions, and
Same,
so.
same.
Well, minus Mercedes McNabb, but I'm not going to get into that. The Girl Scout cookie from Adam's Family. She was Harmony on Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Angel.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no.
I've had some bad experiences, but I won't go into them. Yeah, not too many. I've had way more good than bad.
Yeah. Who's one of your favorite people that you met at a convention?
I'd have to say Felissa Rose.
Yes.
I have a tattoo of her on my leg. Like, I love her so much. She's my favorite actress.
Mm.
She's one of the sweetest people I've ever met. Again, when I was there with my kid, she like came around the table, got down to his level, was talking to my kid, and I'm like, people who are nice to kids who are not don't have any money and are not going to buy anything, that says so much more to me than anything else.
I think she's probably one of the most personable people ever. Like everybody, like
Yeah,
she's so
I
much fun.
just love her so much.
Yeah. Just out of curiosity, you said you had the tattoo of her. Is it from the sleepaway camp where she's?
Yes, yep, that's my tattoo.
The sleepaway camp ending. That's not a spoiler, people. It's 20 over 30, whatever, however many years.
It was a long time ago.
If you haven't seen Sleepaway Camp yet, then what's wrong with you?
That tattoo is how I met one of my best friends, though, at a convention. I went to his table and saw that he had a movie that he was there. I think he'd produced or written part of it. I can't remember what he did on that particular one. I should know. But anyway, I was like, oh, Felissa Rose. And I was like, I have a tattoo. And so I showed him, and then we got to be friends. And
let's see. Steven was, let's see, what is this? Texas Frightmare. I guess he's talking about if he gets any tickets to Texas Frightmare weekend.
Oh, man, I'd love to go there.
I haven't been there since I have been to Frightmare, but it was before the pandemic. So it's like, and after that, I haven't been since. But hopefully I make another trip there. But it's just like wanting to go to all these conventions. It's just like I can't afford to do them all. You got to pick and choose. It's that's what's sad about me. If I won the lottery, I'd be like I'd go to every single one.
Right? Yeah, it's like all the travel and stuff. And with me, I always have kids with me, so then I have to pay for the kids, and I have to board my dogs. And the expenses rack up.
It's like, and all, I mean, the dealer's room are great too. It's like, I want that, that, and that, but I can't afford it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, besides meeting the guests and like the atmosphere and meeting other fans, it's just a great experience. I love conventions. It's great. And like, some people might be like, oh, you're weird liking horror. It's like, we're probably the most normal people there are, really.
Yeah, I think it's a genre that's very accepting of people. Like, if you meet other people that like horror, the majority of people be like, oh, cool, me too. They won't see you wearing a horror hoodie and be like, name 3 people in that movie. They'll just be like, that is an awesome shirt.
Exactly. Like I've actually like met a couple people like out in public. Either they'll have like a Friday the 13th or a Scream or some sort of horror movie on there. It's like, oh yes, that's one of my favorite cosplay, and then just start talking. It's like, yes, horror people come flock together.
Exactly. How you meet your people sometimes.
Exactly. Let's see, Cult Classic Convention. Oh, I guess there's another one, Cult Classic Conventions. I haven't heard of that one.
Me neither.
So check that out. But yeah, I may go. I haven't been to it yet. Pensacon in Pensacola. A friend of mine who's a musician performs there and goes. And I heard it's kind of like, even though there's like a lot of major people that go there in different categories, whether it's horror, sci-fi, television. Um, he says like it's like pretty low key, like it's not as
Yes,
crowded. It is more
it's
intimate. And
great.
I'm thinking, really? Well, I guess yeah, maybe, but
I was
so,
there once with Dedger. Um, we had a table there, and it was one of the most fun trips of my life, and I loved it there.
yeah. I'm definitely gonna have to go because I mean, me living here in Florida, and I haven't even been to Pensacon yet, so I gotta definitely go.
Yeah, it was quite a trip for us. It was a wild weekend, but we had so much fun.
Yeah. I'm gonna see. I don't know actually, which reminds me. Talk about Pensacon. I might try to see if I could maybe even get a table there myself for independent horror movies. I don't know if they do any like. Did they? Well, actually, yeah. If they have hosts and stuff, they probably have other actors there besides the main guests. So
Yeah, we got in because we were working with somebody who had booked some of the other guests, and he was a good friend of ours, and so he managed to get us a table there.
okay, yeah. Well, and he's the musician, so maybe he can help out too. That'd be fun. So I can check
Yeah,
it out.
it's
So,
definitely worth going to. It was such a great time.
well, I shall put that on my list. Um, what advice would you have for anyone who wants to start up either being a host themselves or podcast or act?
Do it. Start. You may not be good right away. I'm still not good. But you know what? You get better, you learn more, and you don't have to have the best equipment. You don't have to have the best set. You don't have to have everything perfect. You just have to enjoy it and have fun and put some of yourself out there and be creative, and whatever you love about it, put that into it. Like everybody should be, I think, pursuing the things they're passionate about. And if you have an idea and you think it'll work, like even if nobody else appreciates it, you could have 5 viewers. Those 5 viewers will love you. You know what I mean? So it's okay not to, you're never going to make money at horror hosting, probably. It's not something any of us get rich on. We just do it because we love it.
Yep, that's the main thing too. So, and just as long as you're having fun and doing what you do, who cares?
Exactly. But there is a lot of work that goes into it too. And if you want to be consistent, it's a lot of work.
Mm-hmm. Do you plan on doing any more soon? Because I think, what was the last one? You haven't been doing any more lately? Or did you do it by season or you just did like episodes? So.
We do often one a week, but there's a lot of weeks that, for whatever reason, things going on, we take a break, we're on vacation, whatever. It's not every week, but, in general, our schedule is once a week. Our YouTube right now, which is if you go on YouTube and you look for Hexen Arcaine, you'll find us. Please subscribe. That would really help. We had to take a lot of our shows off for now just because of copyright stuff. And the stuff we do is public domain. I do my absolute best to make sure that I show public domain things. I think things happen every once in a while, but unfortunately there are some bigger people that will make a claim against you, and you can try to fight it. And I have successfully fought it before, but if you fail to successfully fight it, your channel's gone. So if they have any kind of good claim that they can back up in any way, or just up to YouTube's decision, you can lose your channel over it. And so I had 2 copyright strikes. I wasn't wanting to fight it and risk my channel. And so until they expire, because you can have 3 and then your channel's gone. So if I have one more hit, it's gone. And I've put so much work into it. So just for now, all of our videos are unlisted, except for the independent movies. We showed the ones by Moron Productions. Those ones are still there because I got permission to show those and a couple other things. But for the most part, our YouTube is not what I want it to be right now. I'm starting to put just the host segments for the shows that we're doing up on there. There should
Mhm.
be one later tonight, actually, up if I didn't do it earlier today. I can't remember. And I still send the full episodes to the TV shows. And then we're also on Roku channel, Suburban Screams, and a couple other places. We're on Monster Channel, things like that. So the TV stations are still getting the full episodes. I'm still putting them on YouTube. I'm just not making them live for now. And all I'm putting up is the host segments.
Yeah, YouTube is weird how they decide stuff. Like I've seen stuff on there. It's like, how are these movies? How is that there? That should not be on there, but yet it's on there. And then certain people get in trouble for things. Like I don't understand.
Right.
Like I had did obviously Wild Eye because Faces of Fear is a Wild Eye release. But at the time did a Wild Eye week where we would watch and review movies, and I wanted to edit together a whole bunch of Wild Eye clips, and all of the stuff that I got was from it was already on YouTube. I just like took clips and edited it my own way and everything. And I think it was saying I don't know if it was too violent or it was against YouTube policy. And one I think I forget what the movie was called, but it was one of the Raw and Extreme movie scenes from it. But it was already on YouTube, so why are you not allowing me to show it? That made
Yeah, it's weird like that.
I don't know how they decide stuff like that. What I will do also, I'll put your YouTube channel after the show. I'll put it in the
Thank
description and
you.
everything for you so people can subscribe and check it out there.
Yeah, we're still small enough and we put so much into this that I still do this dance every time we get a subscriber.
So, yeah.
And
This,
also on our Facebook page too, if you want to go find us on Facebook, we try to post a lot. We do giveaways when we travel or we find cool stuff. We'll get it and do giveaways whenever we can, just because we like to and we like engaging with people. So
okay. Yeah, if you want to send me any links also to whatever
absolutely,
socials
yeah.
or any other ones besides YouTube, I'll put them in the description as well once I set that up after the show and put up the right picture and all that. So, because I think right now it's just a picture of me and Tony Todd for your show.
Hey,
It
I
does
love
have
Tony Todd. I will.
it,
He can be my face anytime.
so hey, we're just gonna get people. He's got Tony Todd on. It's my profile picture on YouTube. So, which is actually from a Day of the Dead. Which that I think that was my favorite Days of the Dead because I went the night before on Thursday, so I was lucky enough to at the bar hang out with Tony Todd, Kane Hodder, Felissa Rose, and then we went up there like till 3, 4 in the morning. I hung out with them. It was like the best night ever. Like
Yeah,
so.
I shook his hand once. He has the biggest hand I've ever seen in my entire life.
So yeah, it was also funny. Angus Scrim was also there, the tall man and Phantasm, the
Mm-hmm.
boy.
That's
And
cool.
he went back to his room at 7 o'clock. He's like, "I'll see you all in the morning." 7 o'clock. He was going to bed like at 7. Well, maybe it was 7:30, but still it was early. And then we're all up to like 4 in the morning. It's funny. So much fun.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. Steven says it's smaller near the TCM. Oh, I guess he
Oh,
was talking.
cool.
Oh,
I want to go there.
The cult classic convention he was talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, I hope I brought that with me. A friend of mine, well, actually, the musician, we went to see Terrifier 3 in Dothan at the drive-in because that's the only drive-in nearest or Ocala. And he had gone to the gas station, the Texas Chainsaw gas station, and he went to the store there, and he got me one of the postcards there from the gas station, which was pretty cool.
I want to see Terrifier 3 so bad.
Oh my god, so good! Oh my gosh, it's whew.
Oh, just stop. Tell me it sucks.
Oh, absolutely horrible. It was
Yeah.
only the #1 movie weekend that beat out Joker, but it was terrible.
Unfortunately, I have like a 5-year-old with me almost all the time, and it apparently is not appropriate for 5-year-olds. So
Not really. I don't think so. But
she's also not into scary stuff, unfortunately. So we're working on it.
so you got to start out with like Goosebumps and like some of the like
We started like
monsters.
Scooby Doo. She's
Yeah.
to the point where she likes things that are spooky but not scary. And I'm like, I'll take it. It's a start.
Would Monster Squad be too scary? I don't know. Wolfman's got doors. The best line. I love this.
I mean, I've shown her like Corpse Bride, things like that. I try to show her that kind of stuff. It's not her favorite, but she'll get into it. She likes ghosts and stuff.
Work your way up. A little introduction to horror. That's not bad. So, not like you can jump right into it. Exorcist.
I mean, I did with my son. He was all about that stuff. He was my little sidekick at every convention. He'd hide under the table and jump out and scare people. And
Nice. Um, let's see. So, what else besides? I know you said Silence of the Lamb got you into horror. What's some other subcategories that you like? Slasher. Well, obviously Terrifier, but what other ones are some of your favorites?
well, one of my first memories, like before I really got into horror, was hanging out at a friend's house, and they had Texas Chainsaw Massacre on, and I was like getting into it, but also the hitchhiker really creeped me out, and I was like, if anybody ever acts like that around me, I am leaving, and I will never talk to that person again. So that really stuck in my brain, and that's one. But I think my favorite movie is Sleepaway Camp.
Yeah.
Of course, going along with my love of Felissa Rose and why I have a tattoo.
Yep. I didn't get a chance to watch it all, but on the Chainsaw Awards on Shudder this past week or whenever it was on, they had a category that was all Felissa Rose movies. So she was doing the introduction, and it was funny because she was going to win regardless. It was all like four of her
That's
top
great.
movies.
I love that.
And I'm like, oh, well deserved, a Felissa Rose category. I
Technically did it in a movie with her. What is it called? Go Away is a horror movie, and they did a crowdfunding thing, and so I put money in there so we could have a short clip of something in there. So I put some of the intro from Hexen Arcaine in there, so when somebody's going on their phone, you can see us on there for a second.
Oh, I'll have to go back and watch that.
So Morgan and I, because Morgan loves her too, so Morgan and I are on there, and I was like so excited.
I shall check that out. Yeah, it's cool how different movies will do those Indiegogos, and you can either do your own recording from home, or be killed, or have your podcast in it, voice, whatever it is,
name, picture, whatever it is. Yeah, I think it's cool. So it's a good way to raise money because not everybody has the money to make the movie that they want, and I think it's great to get people feeling invested in part of it.
And what's that other one? It's not the end of, it's not the Indiegogos, but it's they call it where you can invest in movies. I forget what it is. Like Kevin Smith is in it. Like all these people are part of this investment. Have you heard of that?
I don't think so.
I don't know if Steven might know. There's like some fan. It's something fans where the fans are all part of the producing of it.
That's cool though. So, I'm all for it.
So all producing. Do you plan on besides Arcaine doing the host, would you want to like maybe do like a spin-off movie of that, do you think? Like write a movie?
That would be super fun someday. I have way too many passions, enough passions that I should realistically never sleep at all. And so I'm always doing things, but a movie would be fun. I love acting. When I don't like to put myself out there. I hate rejection. So I really only do things where my friends invite me like, hey, I'm doing this. Do you want to do a part in it or something like that? But yeah, a movie would be fun. I love Morgan and I. She's just a blast to work with. We love each other. Like, she's not my real life sister, although we're sisters on the show, but she might as well be. Like, she's family to me, and we have so much fun every time we travel together. Anytime we do anything together, we've always just had the best time. So I will do any project with her.
Nice. And Steve said he already subbed to both there and followed both of you.
Thank you.
So, you got to do the sub dance every time you get a sub.
I have to confirm it, but yes.
Let's see. Almost coming up to an hour. Nice. And I know you said you had to put your child to bed.
Yeah, but I have a little wiggle room. I have like another 10, 15 minutes.
Okay, cool. That's fine. Yeah. You're welcome as long there. So, yeah, I'll save my last question. Then I just didn't know if you had to go. But yes, I am enjoying it. So, yes, you may do a movie. I was going to say that, yeah, it's always fun when you do stuff with your friends. It's always
Yeah, that's my favorite thing. I'm not like somebody that like I don't need to be a big star or anything. I'd rather just do things with friends and people I love and just have fun with it. And, if it gets big, it gets big. But that's never been an expectation or something I needed or wanted out of it. I like to enjoy what I do. I love being creative. I need to be creative. So.
And so when you write the scripts for them, what's your inspiration and how do you start? Do you like maybe think of an ending for it, or do you have any sort of process to come
We
up with
don't
a
write
story?
scripts. No, it's all like ad lib. We play off each other. One of us will say something wild and we'll go off it. We kind of have a general idea like what story do we want to tell in the episode or a general idea of it, but we really don't plan it out like that.
Okay, so it's basically just watching the movie and hosting it as you go, just whatever pops
Yeah,
up.
I mean, there's times where I'm like, cut, Morgan, you can't say that on TV. But for the most part, it's completely unscripted.
Right. What was the one blooper? I did see a funny blooper on YouTube. I guess it was saying something about Santa cleaning the bathroom, and she said, "Oh, he only comes once a year," or something
Yeah.
along this line. What was the joke
But,
there?
well, obviously I've done trauma and stuff, but for our show, we really want to make it accessible to everybody. We want kids to be able to watch it.
Oh,
We want families to be able to watch it. We want to make it interesting and fun, but we also don't want to make it adult.
adult rate. You want a whole family fun to enjoy it, right?
Right.
So yeah, I noticed the couple of movies I saw that you had hosted, The Last Man. I guess you said a lot of them were public domain ones, so that's why you do a lot of 60s. What other movies have you done? Are they all the time period or?
Oh boy, so many. We've done silent films from like, and we've done 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, some 70s. It's all over the place. Any independent films where we can show it on TV. We love to do those. A lot of independent films have a lot of nudity or swearing or something where we can't. But
Right.
once we can, we love showing those. And we have actually an upcoming episode from our dear friend. His name is George Cerule, and he does really funny movies. He did this movie, The Gray Girl, that he gave us permission to show. So that's going to be definitely an upcoming episode. And he actually I was an actor in that as well, so in a small part. So it was so much fun. He's just the nicest person.
Um, so do you have a favorite time era of the or decade I should say? Any favorite decade of movies?
I love 80s, like everybody. 80s were an amazing time for horror. But I am somebody who loves modern horror. Like the 2010 and like some of those are some of my favorite movies. And I love like the Conjuring series, Sinister. I love paranormal stuff and haunted stuff, things like that. It's one of my dreams to like find a ghost. I haven't seen too many things that are actually paranormal as much as I've tried. So I
So
love
no,
that kind of thing.
so you haven't had any ghost experience yet, then, but you want to like go to a
I
haunted
mean,
location.
here and there little things, but nothing where I'm like, that is 100% for sure. Like I have definitely felt things where I feel like it's been haunted. I've been to a lot of places. I love covering those stories. Wherever I go, I try to look for the crime, the haunted, the interesting stuff, the cryptids.
Mm-hmm. Was there something else that I don't know if you cut out on me for
No,
a second?
I'm just trying to think like next weekend I'm going to Florida because there's a haunted jail investigation that I really want to go to. So
What part of Florida?
it's Gainesville, like Gilchrist County Jail.
Oh, I might have to look that up. I mean, I don't think I can make it to that. I mean, I'm in Tallahassee and I don't have a vehicle right now anyway, but yeah.
You can try the 26th. There's a whole event. It's a family friendly event, and then at night they're doing the investigation. So I'm going to be
Actually,
there.
I wonder if Gene might be interested in doing that. Maybe he likes haunted conventions and stuff. That might be interesting. I mean, hey, if we go to Dothan, Alabama, why not go to Gainesville? It's not,
Exactly.
What's it called? The what jail?
Gilchrist.
Okay. I'll look that up. I've been in since you're like a fan of Supernatural, I assume you watched Unsolved Mysteries.
Oh yeah, religiously. That was another thing that got me into horror. Actually, my dad showed it to me when I was 7 because my mom wasn't home. It was a terrible idea because like I didn't sleep for years after that, and my mom would never have let me watch it because I was a really scared child. But anyway, I got a fascination.
I don't know if you remember the one. There was a house, I think it was in Claremont. The woman actually dreamed of the house before she moved in, where it had the stairway from the attic into the kitchen. There was
Yeah.
like that. Okay, that house there. My dad worked with the second woman who owned it. Dawn. They mentioned the woman, not the people who had moved in first, but after they moved out, Donna moved in, and they even said Donna lives there now. Well, my dad worked in that house, and when Donna was there, like there was one time she left the house and all the windows were open, and it was like starting to rain, and she was trying to hurry up home. All the windows were shut, not like one like might have fallen like loose or anything, and the
Uh-huh.
lock was back turned. They were shut
Oh
down and
wow.
locked.
Where is the house at?
I don't think the ghost is there anymore because supposedly, I guess they did like an exorcism or something, but it stayed up in the attic a lot after she. I don't even know if she still lives there or not. But the guy was shot. They set his truck on fire. The guy who was killed there, and it happened in the '80s. And when he came out to see his truck on fire, they shot him in the driveway. And I don't even think they ever solved who shot him.
Oh,
But
where at?
it was in Claremont, Florida.
Oh, Florida. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't
So
know Claremont, Florida, just California. So I was like, huh,
mm,
interesting.
yeah. And I was in the attic hoping to hear or like try to maybe get a picture of the apparition or something, and nothing like moved or I didn't hear anything, but I almost felt like I was being watched, but nothing more than nothing too poltergeisty, I guess you could say, or anything like that. But my dad said he heard footsteps while he was there, and so
That's
that's
cool.
probably the closest haunted actual location that's happened. So, or oh no, no, what was weird, and even my aunt, my grandparents in Deltona, I was. I don't know if I was dreaming or if it really happened, but then my aunt said she thought she saw like a shadow of a man, and I was like laying on the bed against the wall, and my grandmother painted, and he was standing there by the painting, and he like kind of looked at it, and it kind of freaked me out, and I was like, and then he was gone. So
Wow.
I don't know.
That's
I think
wild.
so. I guess as long as I don't, what is this? Um, Steve was saying. Hold on. Paul was saying, "Hey, is here." He just got out of Smile, and then Stephen was saying maybe you might want to do a Patreon or GoFundMe. I think
Oh,
he's
I think he
talking
was
about.
saying maybe those were the ones, the platform you were trying to think of.
No, there was actually like a certain name for it, like a media name. It might even start with like the word fan, but um, I guess he's asking the sub dance. Whoa, that's bonkers. I guess that was earlier that I probably missed, but sorry about that, everybody. But thanks for joining us again, of course, Paul. And so, but yeah, well, maybe you'll have a ghost experience there in Gainesville. Maybe who knows?
Fingers crossed. I really hope so.
So we'll see. What was the other? There's like some other haunting show I was going to mention. I can't think of it now. Of course.
I don't
What
watch any of the real haunting stuff because I don't actually believe most of it.
some of those I think they overdo it and they never really do anything and they just act all scared and it's kind of silly. Like it's hard to believe
Yeah,
some of them the way they
but
act.
I love movies about demonic possession or hauntings or things like that. Like if it's a movie or a show about it, I love it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yes. I'm sorry, I was reading the comments.
Oh, I just read that about Paul there. He said tons of ghosts in New Orleans.
We were there last year around this time, like mid October last year. We actually road tripped from Wisconsin to New Orleans. It was a 16-hour drive. We drove like all night, just switching off to spend the
Hmm.
weekend there. And it was so fun. We had the best time. We filmed so much stuff. Morgan had never been there before. It was like her dream place to go. So I was like, I'm going to make that happen. And so we just we did
Just
pretty well at a convention. So we're like, we're going.
yeah. Let's see. Vanilla rules.
It,
I'll talk about Amityville there.
I
So
do actually. One of them was filmed right by me in Silver Lake, Wisconsin.
let's
That was
see.
they used a house.
Um, nice. Uh, this is a random thought. Have you do you enjoy using a Ouija board at all? Have you ever tried any luck with that?
I've tried, but I can rarely find anyone that actually wants to use one with me.
Mm,
Most people I know are like, no, I'm not touching that. And the people I did, I could tell the one person was moving it,
yeah,
like on purpose. And I'm like, come on.
when you're that obvious, really, really.
Yeah.
What was really weird? What was it? I forget how long ago it was, but I had one, and my mom and I, is anyone here? Yes, whatever. And I don't think she moved it because I don't know why she would even think of like the answer. But I guess what was it? I said, "How did you die?" And it spelled out the word wolf. Like, what were you attacked by a wolf? Like, how old is the spirit? Like where'd they come from? It was weird.
Huh.
So I don't know, but
Oh, he's asking which Amityville horror was filmed in Wisconsin. I think it was like the remake one. I can't remember what year. Honestly, I saw the movie, but I just cannot remember which one off the top of my head.
mm,
But the house is a really cool house.
yeah, there's so many Amityville movies anyway.
Yeah, there's too many.
So.
Not in that they shouldn't exist, but in that there's a lot to remember and watch.
Oh no, there's a lot. I forget how many we said there were. The Amityville podcast, they are watching them all and reviewing them all on their podcast. So it's like over 100. I forget how many there are on now. So besides paranormal, one of my last questions, I'll give them if anyone else has any questions, go ahead and type them in while I'm talking here. What's something that fans may not know about you, whether any other talent or interests, hobbies, collections that we might not know about that you'd like to share?
Um, oh man, I don't have any talents whatsoever, actually, at all. And this is not me being down on myself. I am fundamentally fairly talentless. I just like doing things and I do the best I can. And I love all the talented people I meet. I am an avid reader. Books have always been my thing, my escape, especially like 1800s Russian literature. I have a huge soft spot for that. So, books have always been like my biggest passion, I would say, besides mental health.
Favorite author?
Um, that's really hard to pick. I'm not sure if I have one. I have books I love. I love Dickens. I love Dostoevsky. I love Tolstoy. But there's so many authors that I just absolutely love and have gotten so into their books.
I need to do some more reading myself. I'm a real big Stephen King fan, but I haven't read so many of his newer ones. But they're like thousands of pages. It's like, oh my gosh, doing
Yeah, I
everything
haven't either,
else.
but right now, when my job, I work out in the community a lot. And so I end up driving sometimes like 5 hours a day. And so when I drive, I listen to a lot of audiobooks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like I did listen to one. My uncle had the Harry Potter books audio. There's this guy, I forget his name, but he does every single voice of every character, no matter who it is, male, female, creature. Like that was some talent right there. Like he's won like all these awards, and he's like this famous audio book reader. So,
Yeah, I got my son those to get him into Harry Potter before he could really read the books, but I knew he'd love the story. So,
mhm. Yeah. So then you've heard that guy that I'm talking about, though, right?
yeah, he's great.
So much fun. Let's see, checking out the comments here if there were any others. There's so many. Oh, that was the Amityville comments. So, yep. And I think I'm gonna eat the rest of my dinner too. So, but this has been fun, and it was great meeting you. So,
Yeah, you too. Thank you so much for having me on, especially last minute.
yeah,
It's
absolutely.
great to talk to you.
Yep. So I appreciate it, and thanks, Stephen, for introducing us. Everybody who came in, Paul, and who was that earlier? It was someone new, and I'm sorry I forgot your name. But whoever came, thank you very much. So
Yeah,
uh,
Wayne was here. He's a good
Wayne,
friend
that's
of
who.
mine.
Yeah, I was like Wayne.
He's a wonderful person. He's actually a really good author. You should look up his books if you're interested in like cryptids, UFOs, mobs. He does like mafia mob stuff.
Oh,
Really,
okay.
really intelligent, interesting guy.
Yes.
Wayne Klingman. Look up his books.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen UFOs myself and some stories. So yeah, but
Oh,
maybe I'll get into
glad to
later. But
talk. Yeah.
yeah. So, well, since you know what might be fun, maybe we can set up a day, and like talk about paranormal stuff, stories that we know, or just
I'd
all
love
paranormal.
to.
So that would be fun. Like all the
Absolutely.
cryptids,
Yeah. After
UFO.
the jail thing next week, I'll have something more to talk about.
So yeah, yeah, maybe within the next month or something after that, and we'll keep in touch for sure. That'd be fun.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you again. And thank you for everyone who jumped in. After all this time, I'm still shy. So I tend
So
to ramble sometimes, but
it's been great. I appreciate it, and I'll put all the if you have any other links you want to send me, and I'll also put the YouTube channel on as well.
yeah, we'll do. I'll send you our website, our Facebook. We're also on Instagram, TikTok, pretty much everything. And I'm not on like Twitter, X, or anything right now, just because I
I don't
couldn't.
think a lot of
But
people ever since it became X. I think just, but
yeah, I was not about it. So anyway, but we're on pretty much everything else. So
all right. You have a great night. Thanks again, and we'll
thank
see you
you.
next week. All right. Bye.